A woman whose husband was murdered during a brutal attack inside their El Cajon apartment is speaking out about a proposed law in California that could allow the killer to get out on parole.
SB94 would rescind life without parole sentences for some inmates convicted of murder before 1990. As CBS 8's David Goffredson reports, supporters of the new law argue some inmates are simply too old to reoffend.
This particular legislation is a total disregard to victims and a nod to criminals, period.
Vicki Pettix doesn't like talking about the man who attacked and killed her husband 35 years ago inside their El Cajon apartment. The couple had been married less than a year. Steve Pettix, a local newspaper reporter, came home to find his wife being attacked by a man with a knife. He jumped in and saved Vicki, but he was stabbed to death by David Weeding, a convicted rapist who was on parole at the time of the killing.
The pain never goes away. The fact of what happened never goes away. And it's not just something you learn to live with.
Weeding was convicted of first-degree murder with special circumstances of murdering during the course of an attempted rape and burglary. Now those special circumstances could be thrown out if a new resentencing bill becomes law in California.
He was sentenced to life without parole, and I was good with that. Psychologically, I don't know what will happen to me if that were to change and he were to get paroled.
Weeding is now age 73, serving his time in a Stockton medical prison. Senate Bill 94 would allow murderers to petition for resentencing if they were sentenced to life without parole, if the murder was committed before June 5th, 1990, and if the inmate has already served 25 years in prison. The bill's sponsor, State Senator Dave Cortese, says SB 94 would apply to about 550 inmates between the ages of 53 and 87.
Research conclusively demonstrates that there is little risk for elderly individuals to reoffend or recidivate upon release.
Supporters of the bill say the path to parole would be a three-step process.
If the judge resentences the person, they would then go to the parole board for review, a process that takes about 10 months. And if the parole board finds them suitable for parole, they would then go to the governor's office before ever being granted parole.
The bill excludes inmates who are convicted of murder of a police officer, murder of 3 or more people, and rape or child abuse during the homicide.
What SB 94 is doing is disrespecting crime victims and their families.
The political action group Crime Victims United held a news conference Tuesday in Sacramento to urge state lawmakers to vote against the bill. It's the same reason why Vicki Pettix is speaking out.
To have this come up now is an incredible injustice to me, to my family, to all the people that love my husband. And it's a get out of jail free card for anybody that's been convicted of life without parole.
David Goffredson, CBS 8.
Thank you, David. The bill will go before the State Appropriations Committee this Friday. It would then come up for a final vote at the State Assembly within the next 2 weeks.